my name's Eric Simpson. Most people just call me Bart. You wanna look at tour my shop, tour the equipment in my hangar? Well, yeah, I guess I can do that. I'll take you around, show you the type of equipment that I have and that I use. Sure, okay. Shoot, I guess we'll just start over here. Try to do this pretty quick. This is my 10 Smith brake. I think this is my third brake like this. I wish I'd bought quality stuff right from the get-go. I've had this for about 10 years, I guess, 8 years, somewhere around in there, but I've had some other lesser quality ones, but this one's pretty good. And I have the radius leafs on them, which are very expensive. Let's see, if you look over there, you see I create quite a bit of trash. I call those my practice pieces. I'm sure nobody else has that issue. Let's see, I've got a Minimax here. The Minimax was designed by a fellow in Kentucky, if I remember right, named Clay Cook, and he's passed away, unfortunately, but now the people there at Trick-Tool are manufacturing it and selling it. It's a reciprocating type power hammer. It's kind of like a far less expensive way to go, like a far less expensive pull max, I guess, way to describe it. And I use it pretty much. It's a reciprocating type power hammer. And like any hammers, they tend to beat themselves up pretty good. But yeah, it's held up well. It's just my own homemade stand for it. Trick-Tool also sells a stand for it. I've got a date bandsaw, and this for the price. This is a really good unit for the price. I've had it a while, and it's held up well. It's variable speed. I especially like the blade guides on it. Over here I have stacks of metal. I primarily use 2024 T3, which is a very difficult metal to work with. It's not like your 3003 and H14, those type of metals. The 2024 T3 and 6061 T6 are really difficult metals. Here's my 10 Smith. I had prior to this, I had a Chinese model that failed me. I guess I've had this about 15, 16 years, and it's held up well, works just fine. Got a lathe back there. I know I'm not a machinist, but pretty often I use that. I've got the Radius Master. This thing's pretty neat. This could deserve a video unto itself. It's just way versatile. I think this is my third belt grinder, belt sander, whatever you want to call it. But man, this thing really is good. Let's see, I've got just your typical grinder here. I got this in 1975, and I rode my bicycle 14 miles each way to go get this. And if it ever breaks, I'm going to get it overhauled no matter what the price, because, sentimental value on stuff like that. Let's see, coming around, I got an Echo KF170 shrinker stretcher. This replaced my JNS, and that was a good unit. Nothing wrong with the JS. And that replaced my Lancasters. I finally broke down and got the very expensive Echo, primarily for the no mar jaws. So you can shrink and stretch metal without putting any tooling mark in it, because you really need that with airplanes. Certainly a high quality tool, and certainly costs a lot. All right, so here's the mech hammer. We talked enough about that for today. I think the mech hammer is the third Planish hammer I owned, and like I said, I wish I had just gotten good stuff from the get-go. That's over a 25-year period. I got my English wheel over here. I have flat top anvils, flat top lower anvils. I've got full radius lower anvils. It's best to have both, in my opinion, to have the lower wheels or lower anvils that are flat top and full radius lower anvils. There, I also have these plastic UUMH, something like that is the plastic on them, and I don't use them that much. They're primarily for smoothing metal without stretching it. Got this. This is a fairly new. I bought this fairly recently. This is a Roper Whitney slip roller. I think that Pexco made this exact model under Pexco name, and I guess Roper Whitney now makes it under their name. And to my understanding, I think Tinsmith owns Roper Whitney now, I think. And I've got my Bailey electronic magnetic brake. This is my third electric brake, and the other two failed very quickly. I've had this for a while, and it's certainly it's held up well, and it's a good unit. I'm real happy with it. And then I've got my Mittler Brothers bead roller over here. I've got both the adjustable upper, and I recently bought the adjustable lower. And as you see, it gets used quite a bit. I think I've had this for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, maybe somewhere around there, 6, 7 years, something. I've got my bead roller dies up here. I have a pretty good selection of those. See over there, I've got a Him saw, chop saw. I've got an Evolution chop saw. I've got a Beverly shear. I can see up here. I was one of the I've been base jumping for well over 30 years. I was actually one of the early pioneers of the sport of base jumping. Sorry about the reflection there. I recently had a little heart deal, and now I can no longer base jump or skydive, unfortunately. But I'm getting old. I'm okay without it. But I have been having some withdrawals for not being able to base jump. In my spare time, I do bead rolling art. Let's see what else. This airplane, I sold it a few years ago, but I built this airplane, from stack of aluminum and plans. I flew it about 550 hours and sold it a few years ago. So here's some more base jumping. All right, okay, so now you had a tour of my shop. Time to go back to work, because I personally like to eat every day and sleep inside.